Hello, trading is closed on April 13th, 2016. We had a MEJT target of 2058.36. There's a standard rule: if you gap strongly in the undesired direction, the target's killed before the open. That's what happened. It still should print at some time. I had targets in the 2070s for some time. They printed, and they were a perfect support level for the ensuing move up. This one gets added to the list. These ones get taken away. We're getting close to some targets from December, and depending on tomorrow's open, we'll see if we get those or not. MEJT had a few things to say. There's a move it calls false. At the end gives us a target of 2073.99, most likely to print tomorrow. There's also a page 120 sell signal. It says that at some time tomorrow we're going to drop 8 to 10 points. This is one of the most reliable signals I have. Since the summer of 2002, I have one failure in which we only got 7.5 points instead of the 8 that was predicted. So the good news is the signal works. Bad news is you don't know where the drop begins from. Let's take a look at some other things. We have a new high on the recovery, but not a new high in the number of stocks going up. That's not much of a divergence, but it is some. We also have an extreme reading showing call buyers are overpowering put buyers more than they've done in a long time. These option players tend to be wrong. We have positive and negative signs from today's trade. Often that lead to a gap outside of the day's range. It's positive that we broke through these lines I showed yesterday, but it would be invalidated if we gapped down sharply. Tom DeMark has something he calls the TD critical qualifier, meaning you have to continue at least a tick from today's bar. If you gap down, you never fill the gap, the break doesn't count. And the same thing applies to the break into positive territory, the upper half of the Andrews pitchfork. It's positive if it continues up, but if we gap down, the break does not count. Well, this is a chart we've had for some time. Here was your here was the diamond on stilts. We had a target around 2077, which was obviously left in the dust. And we also had this price, 2067 and change. We said it would print at some time, and it did. Well, that didn't hold the rally. What's interesting is if you take the same length of the predicted move, and you use the 23.6% setting, we have a diamond on stilts, stilt, half a diamond, targeting today's high. I like to point out that gapping up like this and slanting up all day is not usually a sustainable pattern. You can see that over here we did that, gapped up, slanted up, and gapped down. Same thing here, slant up, gap down. Same thing here, gap up, slant up, gap down. We have bar 13 of the sequential sell signal to go along with bar 13 of the combo sell. This marks the area of and not necessarily the exact price of the top, but because of the breakouts of those trend lines I showed, I wouldn't wait around for the end of the day if we continued higher. The official stop is the end of the day, but if we continued higher, I think that signal would not work. Well, this is a target I've had for some time. I didn't think it would print, I have to admit. Here's your stilt down, here's your stilt up, half a diamond's all you need. Take the 50% setting, the target is right at today's high. If that holds, this rally's over. If we break through, we've broken through great resistance, it'll keep on rallying. So for tomorrow, we have a lower target plus a signal that we're going to get an 8 to 10 point drop at least at some point during the day. Here's time to fish or cut bait. There's a good chance of a gap down tomorrow under this low, or at least taking out this low early. If we have such a gap, I think this rally is over and we're in for a big drop. But if we break through, we've overcome strong resistance, and I think we have higher to go when these numbers should print, if not necessarily tomorrow, then pretty soon thereafter. And a whole lot of actually just about all of the case for topping out here falls apart if we keep going up tomorrow. We really need a gap down and a strong one, and that's today's call.